Starsector is a great but still somewhat niche space sandbox game even after Seth Zintak covered it. Starsector also has stylized two-dimensional graphics, which got me wondering, how would these ships look in 3 dimensions? To answer this, I decided to make them an Empyrean, another great but still somewhat niche space sandbox game. The first step was to build a 2-dimensional frame in the general shape of the ship I'm trying to build, in this case the Shepherd. It does not take long for me to realize just how big this build would be. To even get close to a good looking size, I need to build with an almost 1-to-1 ratio of pixels to blocks, and to get the engines to scale, I needed to use massive extra large thrusters with several times more power than could ever be needed for a ship this size. And after finishing with a real scale salamander missile and a, quote, light mortar, I added the basics to the helm before working some more on shaping and adding thrusters in needed areas. Finally, I was able to start working on internal components like CPU extenders, generators, and fuel and oxygen tanks. Full disclaimer here, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing here. Even if a general color palette of tan and light brown, I still did not know what textures to pick, so I just saw what stuck. It took several hours, but I did manage to finish colors, textures, and lights for the Shepherd. which means I can work on the second part of the SIP. Each Shepard has 4 borer drones to act as point defense and meat shields for the mothership. The first 2 attempts did not go very well, ending up incredibly malformed and generally distant from the original design. The third try was where I managed to do a decent job using a 1-to-1 ratio of pixels to blocks and building up from there, before adding some shaping. Sadly, these cannot be AI controlled, so I added a hidden cockpit in the center, so it looks like there's no pilot. In Starsector, each borer drone has a single mining laser for offense and defense. However, in Empyrean, mining lasers do not damage anything that is not a rock, so I added 2 pulse lasers underneath the mining lasers. 1 quick paint job later, and the borer drone was finished, and 4 of them were added to the Shepard to complete its arsenal. And with that, I had finished building the Shepard. I'm not really happy with how it turned out, especially the front, but considering the whole SIP took me only 8 hours in total, with the borer drone design taking about 2 hours, I think I did a pretty okay job.